This is the Nitto Ridge Grappler, and it is the most popular tire we sell. And after 20,000 miles of driving on these things, I'm here to tell you why. As always, the first test we have to do is the burnout test. And they handle that pretty well. So here's the thing about the Nitto Ridge Grappler. It's really popular probably because it's a hybrid tire. It's using kind of the best of the both worlds between your mud tires and then your all-terrain tires. Now the Ridge Grappler itself is actually built on an all-terrain platform, whereas you have other all-terrain or hybrid tires like the Toyo Open Country RT is built on the mud tire platform. So the Ridge Grappler is kind of giving you the best of the both worlds between that mud tire and the all-terrain, like I mentioned, where you get good on-road performance. They're not too loud, but then if you want to take this thing off-road on the weekends, you can definitely do that. As far as grip goes, obviously in dry pavement conditions, plenty of grip there, no issues. The tread compound is hard enough that you don't feel unstable. Like on some mud tires, if it's a soft tread compound, you kind of get this little slidey feeling, especially at higher speeds like on the highway. But with the Ridge Grapplers, because it's a harder compound and they're not these massive lugs, you have a pretty smooth, pretty stable on-road experience with the tires. But they're still large enough that if you take them off-road in any kind of low traction environment, they still do just fine because there's plenty of separation there. You'll see that on the edge of the tires, the lugs are actually more separated than in the center. And again, that's designed so that when you're driving these things on the road, that reduced spacing on the middle portion there is going to also reduce the road noise that you experience. Now, the ones that we're driving on have probably roughly about 20,000 miles on them so far, so they're already worn in. And a lot of times you'll see that tires, as they age and get older and older and have more wear on them, that they become louder. But if I let off the throttle and we just coast right here, you'll hear my phone ding, but you won't really hear much as far as tire noise goes. And that's something that you do pay a little bit extra for when you go with a name brand like Nitto, but if you put a lot of miles on, it's definitely worth it to stick some money into the tires. And we've seen people get a ton of miles out of these things too. It's not uncommon for people to see 50,000 plus miles out of them. Now, they don't actually come with a mileage warranty, but like I said, we've ran them on our personal vehicles. This is Ron Struck. He works for us. He's had these for a while. No complaints with them. Good in the dry, good in the wet, and actually pretty decent in the snow too. So if you live in an area that does get a decent amount of snow like we do here in Wisconsin, or our friends up in Canada, I know really like this tire too, because it's, again, just that hybrid tire that's good for a little bit of everything. Now, it's not going to be the best performer in one specific thing, like any all-terrain tire or hybrid tire. It's really good at a lot of things. So you can't take this tire to the drag strip and expect it to run the best times because it's not a super sticky tire. You can't take it through a giant mud hole and expect to make it through because it's not a true off-road mud tire. But if you're the guy that wheels on the weekends, drives to work on Monday morning, this might be the exact tire that you're looking for. So now we're cruising along at 60 miles an hour in a massive lifted truck. It's got 37-inch tires, and road noise is still definitely bearable. There's really not a whole lot going on other than wind noise, and you can hear a little bit of the road. And this road is actually in fairly poor condition. So you'll also see that regardless of which tire you get, if you drive on poor quality roads, that translates to more road noise. So if you have nice roads in your area, you don't have to worry about it so much. But if you get a lot of beat up country roads, then it might be something to look into. And like I was saying, these are 37s, but the Ridge Grappler comes in a lot of sizes. Pretty much anything from slightly larger than OEM, all the way up to the massive sizes for lifted truck applications in 20s and 22s and all the sizes that you expect to see for the show truck world, as well as low as like the 17-inch rim diameters for those guys that have a more off-road focused build. Another added bonus of these tires is that they're actually manufactured right here in the United States, and I actually got a chance to tour the factory in White, Georgia. So it's one of those tires that it's American made, it holds up a really long time, and there's overall a really good tire, and that's what makes it the #1 selling tire on CustomOffsets.com. So if you guys have ever driven on these or experienced the Nitto Ridge Grapplers, or you want to learn more, you can see all that information at CustomOffsets.com. and Luna's going to join the video.